I listen.
You had mentioned earlier, in the context of basically everything, about avoidance. A lot of people are avoiding things, whether it's education about health or, as you just mentioned now, dealing with triggering things that could help you in your all aspects of relationships and life. And I'm wondering, do you have any advice in terms of overcoming avoidance / procrastination, doing the hard work, whatever it may be, whether it be food, health, relationships, etc.
Yeah.
Getting to that the tough stuff on your to-do list.
Yes, and by the way, procrastination is a form of avoidance, big time. And Sigmund Freud said we live by the pleasure principle, but I believe that's not completely accurate. I believe we live more on the avoidance of pain principle. And so what we tend to avoid is things that make us uncomfortable or that actually hurt. And in one way, that's not stupid. To avoid pain is not stupid. What is stupid about that is when there is pain, to avoid it when it's already there, when it's already imprinting on our physiology. To avoid it then is to just repress it and make it show up in some physical manifestation in ways that we don't really want. So one simple way is when I'm uncomfortable, I ask myself, what am I avoiding right now? And with practice, I'm getting good at just sinking into whatever it is that I'm avoiding. If I find myself watching YouTube short videos for more than 3 minutes, I've learned this about myself. I'm avoiding something. And so I do my best to turn off the computer or the phone and just do that introspection, because I think part of it is I am getting older. I just don't have as much time to waste. And I'm realizing I don't have any time to waste. And avoiding pain or difficulty or discomfort is a waste of time because it ends up actually just dragging it out rather than realistically forever avoiding it. And along those lines, I hear people say, I have these feelings and I really want to get rid of them. That doesn't work. That's a strategy that is futile. It won't work. There's no getting rid of feelings. What I'd like to say is, once a feeling is integrated, it's not in the foreground anymore. And then it's part of my utility belt of things that I can access when I want to. But if I'm avoiding it, ironically or paradoxically, avoiding feelings is one way to really hold on to them, because they don't just go away because we go away from them. That's just reality. It's a fun topic because it's just so relevant. Everybody avoids. I haven't met a person who doesn't avoid. I'm not a person who doesn't avoid. And I think that avoidance is so basic to survival. I worked with somebody who was at ground zero at 9/11. He was there when the tower crashed right in front of him, and this toxic cloud of dust chased him down the street and knocked him over. And in order to survive, he couldn't focus on how freaked out he was. He had to compartmentalize his feelings of fear and terror. And he ended up sliding underneath a car, which was then completely covered by this debris, but he had enough little oxygen in there to survive. So he had to leave his feelings in order to survive. But did they leave him? No, he had PTSD big time. And so I helped him over time. I helped him revisit that event, and I helped him feel the actual terror and his body response that was part of that terror. And he reached a certain point, which is sort of critical mass, where his body realized, oh, I can feel this and not die. And then it went into another part of his brain where it was part of the past. Until it went there, it was not the past. PTSD is evidence that the person is still feeling it. And they just needed to feel it more fully. It's a very cool and very dynamic process.